Good morning, everyone. Today I want to introduce NetTango, a block-based interface to make domain-specific models in NetLogo. So I'm going to be sharing a bit about that and showing you some models. So NetTango is a block-based interface for NetLogo. It's kind of like Scratch or Pencil Code or one of those other block-based programming languages, but for making domain-specific models. So what is NetTango? In NetTango, we design blocks to be easy for humans to understand. It is an interface for a NetLogo agent-based model. It creates blocks to control a NetLogo model. It can create domain-specific blocks to interact with a specific model. For instance, if we were making a predator-prey model, we could make agents, wolves, and sheep, and then we can make the blocks to control their behavior. Wolves would have to hunt and to eat, gain energy. Sheep might have eat grass, run away from wolves, flock together, and such things. In this way, we can avoid the underlying syntax of showing learners how to program in NetLogo while still giving them those high-level concepts. For instance, on the left, in a disease model, you might have add healthy people, put 30 of them in there, add one sick person. Then every time the model goes, we would have move, and if sick, infect. In this way, you would have an epidemiology model without the details of the syntax going in, but being able to deal with the high-level concepts of interaction and disease in an epidemiology model. With NetTango, you can convert an existing NetLogo model to use blocks, or you can create your own block-based model. Today, I'm going to show you how to create a turtle geometry model from scratch. You can go and find NetTango at its full length on netlogoweb.org/NetTangoBuilder. I'll be creating this from scratch, so let's clear our workspace. Yeah, we're going to clear all the data. In the authoring environment, we need to create two buttons. We need to create setup, and we need to create go. This is the command that's going to be called. So remember to make a function that has that name. We can clean up the space by moving the button. That looks nice. And we'll close the authoring environment. Now we need to add a new workspace to talk to our turtles. And we're going to add a couple of procedures that we put commands in. So we need to create two new procedures. First, we'll have setup. And here's the name the users will see. And we're just going to call the procedure in NetLogo setup. So if you used a NetLogo syntax, that's what it would look like. And here's the block we've just created that will call that function. And then we're going to put in go. So we've created these two procedures, but they're not going to do much now. If you notice these little tabs, they're kind of asking for some commands we put in here. So what would we do when we set up the model? Well, we'll need to create some turtles. So let's go ahead and create a basic command. Make a turtle. And this is just going to create one turtle. And let's go ahead and put their pin down. The user doesn't really need to know that's what's happening in here because this model is only for drawing geometry. So we're just going to have pin down in here. And that's what's going to happen when the turtle's created. And then we can make a turtle and put its pinned down, set up, and there it is. We also need to ask the turtles to make a square. So let's do a control block, ask turtles. This is going to be called ask turtles, and it's just going to ask turtles, and it's going to be shaped like that. We can put commands inside. Let's go ahead and add that to your model. And then we need to make a square. How do you make a square? Well, we're going to do it like this. We're going to call it square. And what is to make a square? It's to repeat 4 times forward 10. I can't spell forward. Forward 10, right 90. So it's going to go forward 10 steps and then right 90, and it's going to repeat that process 4 times. And that should make a square. So we square. Set up and go. Because I didn't clear the last model, we actually had 2 models in here. So let's go ahead and clean up our mess. Basic, empty command. And what we're going to do is clear the model and time. So we're going to say reset ticks clear all. We need to reorder that to make sure it happens in the right order. And because we want time in our model, we're going to add one more tick command. We can call that keep time. And all it's going to do is a NetTango primitive tick. And we can put that under there. So now we should have a nice clean model with 1 turtle in it when we press setup and go. And every time we press setup, we should get a different color of square because the turtle has a different heading and color. Now, if we wanted to make this a little bit easier to use, we can just edit the go procedure to be a forever block. This will mean it repeats over and over when we press it. Set up and then go. Set up, set up, set up. Well, each time we get a different color of square. Next up, let's add a triangle. What's a triangle? It's 3 turns instead of 4. We can call it triangle, and we can repeat 3, and we can go forward 10 again, and then we can go right 120. So we want to stop squaring and start triangling. Again, we get a different one. And you could repeat this process to continue your explorations of turtle geometry. Next up, I would like to show you a pre-existing model, the disease simple model that we're working here in the theory building grant at Northwestern. We can modify these models by just simply adding blocks to an existing model. In this model, you have 1 sick person and a bunch of healthy people. When they move around, they get them sick. Let's say we didn't like this color anymore, though. We wanted our people to be, let's say, blue. So we can just go here, basic command. We can just say change color of people. Then we can incorporate the ask in the block to make it a simple block. Ask turtles set color blue. And we could do this in the setup block, but we could also do it in the go block. It could be in either one or both. Let's see what the difference is. Oh, interesting. Now sick and healthy people are blue with different colored hearts. If we move that block to setup, what happens? Setup, oh, instead of only turning blue on go, when we press setup, they're blue. Interesting. And because they're not continuously setting their color to blue, when they get sick, they stay that original red. So it matters the order where you put the block, even though the block command itself is different. This is a key part of domain-specific models and domain-specific block-based interface. You can use the same command in multiple places and get different behavior. So it's interesting from this perspective to see what we're doing. We're kind of creating primitives to tell the computer how to program a specific domain of science. In the case I showed, geometry or disease. When we design a NetTango model, we have to design the mappings from these primitives, these blocks, to the underlying code, in this case, NetLogo. This is true of all programming languages. In all programming languages, we have primitives that speak to lower level languages. They are built up all the way from machine code. So machine language is exactly what we tell the computer to do, and assembly is just above that. Eventually, you get a division. A line of code expands into multiple machine instructions. And there's lots of examples of these higher level languages, Pascal and C, Fortran, and then the Lisp family. In the Lisp family, you have Logo, Star Logo, Scratch, NetLogo, and now the interface, NetTango. So NetTango is a high-level interface for talking to NetLogo. If you have any questions at all, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Thanks so much. Have a good day.